Hi, today's video is about emotional clearing. Yeah, I guess I can call it emotional clearing and feeling more lighthearted before you embark on a big project or start to put like a lot of strategy and take a lot of action. It's about really getting clear on what's going on emotionally first. Quickly, thank you so much for all of your responses to the post I did on trauma. Sometimes that shit is hard to put out because it's scary, and I'm still going through part of it. So part of it is taking you through what I do for myself every day. And one of the reasons I stress emotions and emotional energy so much is it's the most useful resource I have in my life, I think human beings have, is energy. Energy is what makes you vital. It's what makes you alive. It's what lets you do the big plans and carry out the big things that you want to in your life. It's literally, energy is the thing that fuels your body to... I'm over here in my kitchen because by the window is so loud, the noise is deafening. I live with earplugs. I sleep with them, but I also sit and I just live with them in. And so I'll talk louder so that you can hear me over this ridiculousness. So, what was I saying? Oh, energy, sorry. Energy is the thing that allows you to like take a step or open a door or turn a page. It's the resource that we need. So energy conservation, learning how to feel powerful with your energy, how to use it as a vessel, how to siphon it off is extremely important to me. It's like the biggest deal of my life. I focus a lot on energy. So for you guys who wrote to me about trauma, I got so many responses. Way to go. It's super brave. I'm so glad it landed with you, and I'm going to be talking about it more because it's just the biggest, it's a big issue. All right, back to today's post, clearing out your emotional space. So I teach business and leadership, and I teach I guess I would call it mental and emotional resilience, like confidence and overcoming fear. Both of which, by the way, are learnable. They're not just things that you have to, that you don't have, oh my God, English, that you either have or you don't have, you can learn them. And part of what I do is when I teach business and leadership, I also teach a lot of emotional skills. Why? They go hand in hand. They go literally hand in hand. So the thing that I've been noticing recently, I did 3 VIP days, which is 3 hours with people on one specific issue in the last literally 10 days. And what I've been noticing is a lot of times people come in just wanting a strategy and an action plan, and they want to get stuff done. As do I, as do we all. The goal is the result, right? A lot of times the goal is the result. But also, the way to actually get to that result eludes people a lot of times because they're not factoring this emotional component. So what that looks like is you have to be able to clear out and at least be aware of what's going on emotionally for you that might be draining your energy, in addition to creating an action plan and getting new solutions and finding help. I recommend all of those external things. And I also know without a shadow of a doubt, you also have to look at your emotional state. If you're heavy, and I've been heavy so many times in my life and been trying to push this boulder up a hill of a big project or a launch or a program or even a blog post, it requires an enormous amount of energy to do creative work, bar none. And in addition, to overcome some kind of emotional thing. So if you're going through a divorce or if you're grieving, or really the gamut of what it means to be a human being and feel pain and trauma and loss. I can't list out every experience, but I know you've been through it, okay? And the most effective way I've found, and you don't always start there, but the most effective way I've found is by really being aware of what's going on emotionally and taking almost inventory of what's draining me, what's nourishing me, what's in the middle, and how much energy I can then siphon off to creative work. So every day, the last 2 years were super traumatic for me. again, I don't know how to talk about it and process it. That will come. But because I'm working through exactly what it was, I take 2 hours every morning to make sure my emotional state is tip top. I take 2 hours every day just on my emotional state, whether that's meditating, doing my affirmations, journaling and crying, or reading like I'm super spiritual. I read a lot of spiritual texts. Right now I'm reading Tyler Perry, Higher is Waiting. So good. I'm going to do a book review about it at the end of this week. It's filling me up. Or it's listening to like David Goggins on YouTube, who I'll also talk about. He's amazing. He's a motivational guy. Actually, he's not a motivational guy. He's the opposite of the motivational guy. But it ends up being motivational for me. I'll share with you about him. The point is, I take 2 hours to fill myself up. And that then allows me to resource myself for the writing, for the videos, for the clients, for the teaching and training. Without it, you are everything that blows through you, like every little thing that comes in your path, every obstacle or a defeat or a little trigger or a phone call or something doesn't go right, sends you into a rabbit hole, sends me into a rabbit hole. It is, you will not have a strong enough core to be able to like do the creative work that you want to, okay? There's a different phase of when you're actually not able to do your creative work and you just shouldn't. And you should just allow whatever's going on for you to wash over you. I'm talking about the phase where you are motivated to do some work, where you do have desire and intention and you're feeling more energy to do your work, but you're also transitioning into a new phase, which is exactly, I would say, the phase that I'm in. So every day I have to take stock of it, and every day it's important. It matters. And also what I've been noticing is with my clients is a lot of times we dive right headfirst into the strategy, but we don't look at the emotional component, but it's all mindset. It's all mindset, it's all emotion. And then we start getting into the strategy, which is great. I could do strategy all day long. I freaking love it. It's what I'm great at. I love it. And I've had so many experiences where people dive in and then it comes back around to like a limiting belief, or like you're not pricing high enough because you don't feel like you're worth it, or you can't sell because you need to get yourself clear and clear on what you deserve and how you're selling with integrity, or you're trying to write this book but you don't know your why. I just did that with a client last week. It is about the beliefs, it is about your emotions, it is about your fears. And I'm not saying you have to solve all of that. You don't have to solve it, because solving it is a process and does take time, but you got to be aware of it. You got to get support for it, for sure. Or you have to figure out your own tools and framework, which is kind of what I try to do in these videos and in my work itself, is give the tools that have worked for me, share my processes so that you can create your own framework and toolbox for how to get through stuff and be aware of your emotional state. There's been times where in my life I have either I've gone through heartbreak, I've gone through emotional stuff, trauma, I would say, and capacity is determined by energy. It just is. So during those times, I had to really take stock, like a real resource, like water or air. Take stock of how much you have. You don't climb Mount Everest or Kilimanjaro without also looking at how much oxygen you need or oxygen you have. I have asthma. I had to do a lot of research. I haven't climbed Mount Kilimanjaro yet, but it's a goal of mine. I have to do extra research so that I make sure I have enough oxygen. I can't just scurry up a mountain and think that, oh, it's going to be okay. Let me get helicoptered down because I don't have enough freaking oxygen. You just can't. You have to think about that. Okay, I just got really excited. The point is, energy. Where did all that energy just come from? It came from choosing to be aware of it, choosing to resource myself, and not choosing to dive headfirst into, let me do the work, let me get the strategy, let me get the thing. All of that comes, and it should be done together But to not take stock of this other thing is a mistake, because it will keep haunting you, keep coming back, and it will manifest. It will show up in weird ways, and it will show up and make you feel overwhelmed or confused or like a failure or bad about yourself, doubting yourself, and it doesn't have to. It's normal. It just needs to be dealt with like a resource. Okay, working on keeping these short, so subscribe below if you want. Share this. Like I always say, you gotta just share stuff that works for you. Why? Listen, sometimes I'm not talking or connecting with a lot of people all the time, but the least I can do is if I know someone's going through a hard time, if I haven't spoken to a friend in a long time, like send something that might help them, send something that might inspire them. It's a practice. Get into the practice of this. Be the person that is I send funny memes all the time. People hate me for it, but just be the one that can kind of send some joy, some laughter, some help. That's the stance that I take in life, is to be that person. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching all the craziness all the time. I really appreciate that you're here. I know my videos are long. I know I'm long-winded. Whatever. C'est la vie right now. Maybe things will change later, but I just really appreciate that you watch the full videos and you read the posts and that you're here and that we can talk about this in an open way together. So thanks. Till next time.